Hello, All Israel News viewers. I'm Oriel Moran. This is Levi from Discover Israel Tour with Levi. Levi, where are you? Where are we? What are we doing here today?
We're in an incredible site called Bétel, the house of God. It's the second most mentioned town inside of the Bible. And here is where Jacob has his dream of a ladder going up to heaven. We're going to go and explore it. And we're going to feel the presence of God in this place.
I'm so excited. Let's go.
Spirit already? Bétel, standing in the presence of God, the house of God, a place where Jacob has this revelation after he goes to sleep and this beautiful dream of a ladder going up to heaven from this location facing eastwards. He wakes up and he's in awe from this phenomenal dream that he has of God standing at the top of a ladder, angels coming up and down, and then God once again reminds him of the promise that he's going to give to the Jewish people, and he's going to spread us around this land, and he's going to come close to us, and he will fulfill that promise, and he won't leave us until that happens. The first time we see this place mentioned in the Bible has to do with Abraham, and Yeruchevam. He then turns this place into an idol worshipping place where he has little golden calves. We see the downfall of Bétel from being this big, massive city into crumbling back into a small city. And probably by the times of Nehemiah and Ezra, 4th century BCE, when they come and they bring the Jews back from Babylon, Bétel is this small place. It's not such a big, prominent city, but this plays a major role in the future for trade as an essential route going from Jerusalem up to the north towards Shem, and Bétel was sort of a trade place where people would stay. You would, you'd be on your way to Jerusalem, so you would buy stuff, you would sell stuff. What we're looking at right now in front of us are stones from all those different periods, which are then being reused to build what we call a mitzudah. Is kind of a fortress during the Crusader period about 800 years ago. We're going to zoom in a minute and we're going to see all of these reused stones dating all the way from the Roman period and some even predating that. So structure on top of structure. Here we are right now inside of the presence of God. We can see that this structure was used as a second time. We see stones with two medallions here and a nice design in the middle. When we come up a little bit more, we can see that this stone was possibly part of a frieze on top of columns. It has medallions with grapes in it and another shape of medallion here dating to the early Roman period, the times of the Second Temple. Just like our forefathers did to honor a place of God, we are going to take frankincense and we are going to burn frankincense in a place in the house of God right here to honor him. First, we're going to light a synthetic coal, not nearly incredibly traditional, but this is the most efficient and easiest way for us to do it today. And then we're going to take the frankincense resin, which we have here, bought in the market in Holy Jerusalem. And we're simply going to place the resin on top of the coal.
How does fragrances, how would you describe it?
Well, it's kind of like a spiritual, gives you this spiritual feeling with it. I actually burn it when I'm trying to study and to get my mind straight inside my house. And many people burn it in houses of worship throughout the world. And from here, it's definitely a significant practice to do that, everyone did for thousands of years. And so we'll do it here, specifically in this place. And we'll say a prayer to God, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Hear, O Israel. So in Hebrew we call it a matzeva, when you take a stone and you say that this is a holy place, very similar to, as we can see, this stone over here. I mean, Jacob must have been a big guy if this was his pillow. This structure is one of the oldest structures within the layers of people who are here, and we can see a stone which is turned upright at the entrance to a house or the entrance to a specific structure. We can see a basin here which was probably used for water for animals to come and drink as they were welcomed in. We can see the vertical and horizontal kind of architecture when it comes to this specific structure, which tells me this is a lot older than the rest of it. We can see that during the Canaanite period, when people made contracts with each other, two tribes made contracts with each other, they would then put these stones, specifically like this one, upright as a reminder for the contract. We see these other places in Israel like Gezel, and in the biblical story of Jacob's ladder, we can see that once he sleeps on his stone, he then puts it upright and then sanctifies this as a place of God.
I want to take us through the story of how Jacob might have felt when he was fleeing. He basically stole or was given his birthright by Esau, and now he understands that he's going to be killed right after his father dies, because there's a vengeance against him from Esau. So he takes the stone while he's on his way to escape, and he might have taken a stone sort of like this, maybe less heavy, maybe not, and he took it with him to some place in the night so that he could rest his head, right? And during that time, like we said before, he encounters something amazing. He encounters God. And as you can see, there's no comfortable way to sleep in the desert, but he did the best that he could. And he basically laid like this. And when he awakes, he understood that he encountered God. To dedicate the place to God, he took oil that he had with him, and he blessed the place, something sort of like this. And I'm sure he didn't spare from anything that he had, because he said after that that he'll give a tenth of everything he owns to God. Basically, his life was covered with the anointing of the Spirit of God, that he said that he would be with him, just like he is with us today.
ויאמר אדוני אל אברהם, לך לך מארצך וממולדתך ובית אביך. And God says to Abraham, leave the land of your father, and go to the land of Canaan. Now, Abraham, he comes to the land of Canaan. He first settles in a place called Shechem and the Oak of Moreh, and then he builds an altar there where he sanctifies God, and then he comes to this exact location I'm standing now, east of Bétel, just across from us, and in front of us a biblical city named Ai, actually the second biblical city that Joshua ben Nun comes to conquer. So Avram comes here first, and he pitches his tent in this exact location, and he then builds another altar and calls this place a house of God.
So I'm here under an oak tree. You can see it's a really beautiful, massive tree. I'm just gonna go inside just so you guys can feel just how beautiful this tree is. I'm sort of thinking about Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, and how, they would wander this land, they would wander the desert, they would find, oak trees, and they would find, different stones to make a pillow from, and they would use all the elements around them in nature, and God would meet them there. And I think it really comes to show that God really is everywhere, just like Jacob said, that this is Bétel, like surely God is in this place. So our encouragement to you is that wherever you are, either physically, emotionally, spiritually, God is with you. Even if it seems like he's invisible, even if it seems like he is silent, there are clear signs that even when we can't see God, he is definitely with us.
Yerovam was a king that did not find favor in God's eyes, and he was a competitor for the temple in Jerusalem. He built two other temples, one in the northern peninsula of Israel called Tel Dan, and the other place was right here in Bétel. He then builds golden calves and uses it for sacrifices to God. Now, the nations who came around the world, they actually continued their traditional practices of this idol worship, and they did it in favor of God, but it wasn't good enough. You had to completely annihilate your old traditions and just stick to the traditions that were done inside of the temple of Jerusalem. It was evidential that a reform would then come, and so it would all be focused and the temples were then brought back to Jerusalem. When that happens, this place gets destroyed.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. It's been such a spectacular day. It's been spiritually significant. It's been very deep and very, we've had a lot of teachable moments in which we've felt the presence of God. Levi, how do you feel about today?
It's just, in a way, it's a little bit overwhelming, but I can understand the power that the Bible has. While we walk through the stories that the Bible directs people, you can feel the power and why it's such a famous book.
That's so true. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want more Israel-related content, go to allisraelnews.com. Hit the notification bell, hit subscribe, and Levi and I will see you guys in the next one.